What's up everybody, JJ Shankles, the Goat Toasters here. Have you ever recorded an entire video and then realized you didn't press record? Yeah, I just did that. So this is the second time through this, so let's get right into the news. Again, first story of the day is Nikon is releasing their beta version of a webcam application. This allows you to natively plug in a lot of Nikon cameras, mostly their newer, the mirrorless, and some of their high-end DSLRs. Allows you to plug them directly from USB cable directly into your computer without having to use a third-party adapter. There are some third-party capture cards that take an HDMI signal to USB. Plug that into your computer, but that's an extra device you have to buy on your own and worry about compatibility and device drivers and things like that. This would be great to have something natively by Nikon that you know will work with all of their cameras and all their hardware. So I'm looking forward to testing this one out. I think I might create a separate review of how well it works and showing instructions of how to get it working. So you can subscribe down below so you don't miss that video. In more Nikon news, a bunch of their new hardware will begin shipping on August 28th. So that's coming up soon. This includes the Nikon Z5. It's their budget, entry-level, full-frame, mirrorless camera. And it looks to be a very high-quality camera, missing a little bit of the video specs that the Nikon Z6 that I'm filming on right now has, but overall looks like a pretty good camera. Along with the Z5, they're also releasing the 70-200 f2.8 telephoto lens for mirrorless cameras, along with a pancake lens for mirrorless cameras, and some teleconverters, and a couple other things. Here's the full list. And in more camera news, Canon unfortunately has been attacked by some ransom malware. Their official Canon websites are down as of now, and they sent an internal memo to their employees about the ransom malware. Not much is known as of right now. It is suspected that some of the free Canon cloud storage for photos may have been affected, but hopefully not, and hopefully they can restore these photos to users using their cloud-based storage. And on to video game news. The video game studio Rocksteady, they were the creators behind the Batman Arkham series. They are working on a Suicide Squad video game. They've made great Batman games in the past, so if they can use that same formula for making an amazing Suicide Squad game, this could be a really good game to look forward to. Even though the Suicide Squad movie may have been a flop, hopefully they can create a great video game behind it because it's a great premise. There's a lot of amazing characters here, and it could be a ton of fun to play with all these different characters in a Rocksteady type video game. And on to a story about an extremely difficult video games. We're not talking Dark Souls, we're talking Skate XL. This is a news story I saw about a new skate video game, and it looks extremely difficult. The skate line of video games differentiate themselves from the Tony Hawk Pro Skater line of video games by making it more difficult to input tricks instead of the Tony Hawk Pro Skater style of just pressing a button to jump or pressing a button to do a different trick. With this one, it's a lot of flicking of the control sticks to get your character's feet to do different things with the board. It's a game that looks above my skill level, and it hasn't even been released yet. So if you're into realistic skateboard games, Skate XL might be one to keep an eye on. In more video game news, Apple says they won't allow Google Stadia on any of their iOS devices. This includes the iPhones and iPads. Google Stadia is a cloud-based video game hosting service. Basically, Google has all the computer hardware in a big server, and so when you play the game on your phone is just taking input, sending it to the server's doing all the processing of it and sending it back to your phone. The goal is to get extremely low latency between you inputting commands and it sends it to the server processes it, and it sends it all the way back to your phone. Very ambitious goals, and I think only a company as large as Google would be able to actually pull something like this off. But now Apple is blocking it. It's unsure as of right now why they're blocking it. They claim it goes against their App Store's policies, but there's also been rumors that Apple might be working on their own cloud-based gaming services. So we'll have to keep an eye on this one in the future. On to Google, a lot of news related to their Pixel phones. First off, they're killing the Pixel 4 line. You can no longer purchase the Pixel 4 or Pixel 4 XL from their official website. This is a phone with a lot of controversy behind it. I have the Pixel 4 XL and I love the phone, but I only love it because I bought it used at a great price. Full price is way too much for a phone with this many problems with it. People complain about the battery life not being huge. They took away the thumbprint scanner and decided to put radar on there for some reason. A lot of issues with this phone, but it's still a really good phone, but it will go down in history as the shortest lived Pixel phone. It was released back in October and it's already discontinued, but it's being replaced by a great phone. Currently, the only phone you can buy on the Google store is the Pixel 4a, and I think the price says it all. It's a $350 phone by Google. So you're getting all the great Pixel software at $350. Sure, you're not getting the high-end processors and the screen isn't some super high resolution, but it's a high quality phone for people who don't want to spend a ton of money on a phone. And a big thing the Pixel 4a has that no other phones have is a headphone jack. One of the last phones to have a headphone jack will be the Pixel 4a. And looking forward on Pixel phones, the Pixel 5 will be released this October, and next year the Pixel 6 might be a foldable phone. This is just early rumors right now. It would be interesting if Google would undertake something as large as creating a foldable phone. I think the biggest downside to foldable phones right now is the price. It's hard to get a foldable phone under $1,000, and the Pixel, if they move it over $1,000, won't sell very many phones, even if it is foldable. I think if Google could make a quality foldable phone for under $1,000, I think they'll sell a ton of phones. And on to some general news, it's been rumored that they are working on 3 different spin-offs from the Mandalorian series. The Mandalorian Star Wars series has become a huge fan favorite, and so if they're spinning off 3 series off of it, I think they can do really good here and create 3 other fan favorites. I would say this is something to get excited about, but it's still only early rumors right now. We don't know much about who it's going to follow or much about the series at all, except that there might be 3. In a little bit of electric car news, the new Cadillac Lyriq may have over a 300-mile range. I think this is the big spec that's holding back electric vehicles right now. That's something you have in a gasoline-powered car. You can just keep driving, and whenever you're empty, you just fill it up. Takes a few minutes, you're ready to go again. I think if they had electric cars that could go 300 to 400 miles, that would be a huge leap forward for the adoption of electric vehicles by most everyone. But anyway, that wraps up our news for today. If anything I said was infactual or I missed a story, make sure to comment it down below and I'll mention it on the next episode. And while you're down there, if you've watched all the way through, if you would hit that like and subscribe button, it really helps this channel out and it means so much to me personally. But anyway, I hope you have an amazing day out there and I'll see you on the next video. Goat Toaster out.